Welcome everyone to the Multichain Nation. Today we have Fig, the co-founder of Squid. It's a super exciting project, heavily used within the Axelar ecosystem. And right off the bat, Fig, tell us what your project's about.
Hey guys, nice to meet you all. Um, Squid is probably, yeah, I think we do at least 90% of the volume on Axelar. So we're the biggest project in the Axelar ecosystem. And what we let you do is bridge any of the tokens that Axelar supports and swap between any token on any chain. So the thing we were actually originally building a yield optimizer on Axelar. This was a long time ago, a few years ago. And what we ran into is we realized you often need swaps as well as bridging to make uh, applications work in crypto, because USDC on one side turns into bridged USDC on the other side. So we needed a way of getting the native USDC of either of both chains. If you're going from Arbitrum to Optimism, um, you need to do that. And then also it's just, I was a DeFi user back in 2020, and it was amazing how everything was so interoperable. You could quickly swap between the tokens you needed and then use a new application. But with multiple chains appearing, Axelar is really the pioneer and like the most secure, the best model for expanding this interoperability of crypto to many chains. But you need swaps as well, again. So um,
Yeah.
we were all using Coinbase, Binance, Kraken really to swap and really bridge tokens across chain. And I wanted a decentralized way of doing that. So you didn't ever have to touch a SEX. You can just get any token on any chain in one click. So Squid is solving that use case. What our products are, we have a front end, which you can use at app.squidrouter.com. API, which developers are using. We're integrated by about 400 projects now, including like MetaMask uses us, Trust Wallet, DYDX, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, ton of other really great projects. And we have a widget and some front end developer tools, which make it really easy to add cross-chain swaps into your app, or maybe cross-chain lending, cross-chain staking. Decentraland uses us for purchasing NFTs in the metaverse and with any token. Um, and yeah, that's what we're doing. We support all the Axelar chains and a few others as well.
That's wild. That's so much. I love how it's like a classic entrepreneur story. You start out doing yield optimization, but then all of a sudden, here we go. this
Yeah,
making this Squid router that is being used in it's probably like I think people don't realize how essential that is and how important what you're doing is. Like you said in 2020, and how people were just using sexes to or centralized exchanges to pretty much be the bridge, the
mm,
swap, and that's not the essence of crypto and blockchain. It's just what you have to do. It means to an end, and
yeah,
you're solving that problem deeper than what Uniswap was doing or other dexes are doing.
yeah, exactly. Uniswap was great, but it's just not really relevant for cross-chain.
Hmm.
And they are building a cross-chain protocol as well, but for now, at least, you're, you need other ways of getting tokens between chains. Um, and like the dream is that you never have to touch FTX. Like FTX should never happen again. Like not your keys, not your crypto is something that you can do with Squid, and you should never have to think about that again. Any institution that wants to use us doesn't have to worry about security, because we never touch your assets, we never take custody. Axelar doesn't either, and we're only using decentralized means of liquidity. We don't have any direct like points where someone's holding your money and they could steal it. So I think it really is the future of like how money will be transferred around the world, and I'm really excited for the scaling that cross chain and like all these roll ups popping up is giving blockchains, because hopefully the next phase will be to start powering really proper traditional finance use cases as well as just standard payments for everyday people.
Nice. Yeah, and I've spoken to different XR projects who are building on top of Squid too. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
it's fun to see the layers being built on top of each other, all with that same mission of making it easier for institutions, easier for users, just end users, kind of anyone to be able to move their crypto assets around without any issue and without any intermediary.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but on a technical level, how is Squid using Axelar?
So we use Axelar's. Axelar's got two main capabilities that we use. One of them is the token bridging, which we talked about, and they've got many assets now, hundreds I think, that you can bridge directly. Some of them, like USDC, you bridge it and it pops out as an Axelar version of the token, and then we have to swap it into the native version after. But there's a lot of tokens where Axelar is the, we call it canonical bridge for a token. So if you bridge via Axelar, you don't need to do a swap on the other side. And the interchain token service ITS is has been really successful with users and developers because it's so easy to use. You can go to an interface, start bridging your token to any of the 64 chains instantly, and then it'll get listed on Squid, um, and we're able to bridge using that. And the second thing is general message passing, which is this ability to send a message, and the message is general. It can be anything, and that message, generally, what we do is we send a program across chains. So we've swapped on the source chain. Say you've got ETH on the source chain, we swap it to USDC, and then we bridge USDC, say from Arbitrum to Optimism, with this message, and the message contains a list of actions to do on the destination chain. So the USDC will come out of Axelar as Axel USDC, and then we use general message passing to execute a swap on Uniswap, swap on Ramses, on Arbitrum, Camelot, and then you can get any token on any chain on destination. And it's really this philosophy that Axelar have had since the beginning. They're so forward thinking with general programmability on chain and keeping it secure, keeping it scalable, but really being able to build anything. And that's why we partnered with them in the beginning. And we wanted to extend that as well. So with Squid, you can swap between any token on chain, but you can also send a general message along with your swap. So we allow, while a lot of other cross-chain swap projects may not let you also send a message, their main use case is just swapping between tokens. We're really a programmability layer that lets you swap between any token and call a contract on the destination chain. And that's really useful for examples like Decentraland, where you want to buy an NFT on the destination chain, or a staking project where you swap into ETH and then you stake ETH in one click. So, and you can imagine with in the future with payments and all sorts of things, you don't just want to send money, you want to also send some instructions, like this is the receipt number, for example, like really simple things that you can't do with Visa because Visa was built in the 70s, and the amount of data you can send with Visa is extremely small, and that was a really good design back then, but now we have the internet, like everything's much more powerful. I think the world is like being held back quite significantly by the programmability of money being sent around the world, and crypto is the answer to that. Interoperability is like very necessary part of that, and that's what we're trying to make sure we're a part of. So whenever that hits, Squid and Axelar are going to be right there, ready to absorb like all of the use cases that come into crypto.
It's really important to be forward thinking, as you mentioned. It's something that is, I think, on a human nature hard to do sometimes. We're a very reactive species. We just want to fix the current problem in front of us.
Mm.
And there are a lot of projects doing that. And it's really comforting to hear that there's a whole future of issues that are going to happen as you solve for current problems. And let's keep all that in mind. That's a difficult undertaking. So, you
Mm.
know, I'm sure you have looked at different projects to implement with, and I'm glad that you chose XR. It sounded like it was the right fit for what you were looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, it's not easy to try and think of where things need to go, but we can at least be ready for we can. That's what programming is. Like programming is really the ability to make anything you want. We have to keep that philosophy, that creativity, that people will be able to come to Squid forever in the future and always be able
Yeah.
to build whatever they want. Like we're not going to become irrelevant at some point. We're always going to be a good tool for what you need to do.
And the contracts are out. They're on the blockchain. You can't. It's it. It's there forever.
Yeah,
It's not going back.
yeah, true, true. Yeah, it's out of the bag now.
um, and as you're building with Axelar, in a developer standpoint, working with a team, working with their dev tools, their API documentation, and what was the implementation experience like with them?
So we worked really closely with Axelar throughout the whole journey of Squid. They've been amazing. I mean, the founders are extremely smart, and we've talked about their vision, but the team they've built they're all like great people, super smart, have helped us audit our code, write some of the code. We've built features together, both of our teams. So we've worked extremely closely, and they, yeah, they've made the right decisions the whole way through. So yeah, we've been really happy. Um, Another really good thing about Axlar has been the reliability of their infrastructure. Um, I think the hardest thing about cross chain is you have so many different chains you have to connect to. These are often slightly different, like in the smallest ways. You think that the EVM or a roll up is going to be the same as another roll up, but there's something small that trips you up, and so you have to build systems which are flexible enough to absorb all of that change, but then also systems which are reliable enough so people can rely on us to swap every day and the swaps to go through regularly. Um, and I think that's another big reason to build on Axelar is the reliability of their relay infrastructure. Where I've seen a lot of other teams, sort of cross-chain teams, not be as serious about that piece. I think it's a really important part for user experience is reliability of transactions. Um, and we're always improving that. But yeah, I think that's been a really important thing. And then also the business development team, like they know how to share the benefits of Axelar over other providers. They're very secure, very scalable, especially now with the launch of the amplifier. And that's helped Squid as well. Part of the reason we've been able to grow so quickly is working closely with their business development team and helping all of these new teams. Who it sounds like you've spoken to some of them, helping all of them build on Axelar through Squid or not through Squid if you don't need it.
Yeah, it's so key for protocol level applications to not just build their product, but also help the projects building on
Mm,
top of their infrastructure. And I think that's what I've noticed about XR is that they really lift up their projects. They showcase them.
mm,
They really try their best to show what can be done. And it's easy just to build a product and all right, developers figure it out on your own. Here's the docs.
mm,
But there's a whole nother level of no, like we're here to help you and help make sure you succeed. And crypto, again, at a base level, has that game theory kind of built in where if if this project succeeds, all our projects on top of it succeed, the whole thing succeeds. Everybody wants to work together to build a beautiful ecosystem.
mm,
In 2017, I feel like we were kind of fighting a lot of whose blockchain is better, but now we're getting
mm.
into that point of now let's all communicate together and build together and win as a uh, global issue.
Yeah, it really is crypto versus the world, and it's tempting. We've seen it a lot with the narratives recently in the Ethereum ecosystem, and before that in the Cosmos ecosystem. Um, if there aren't so many users or so much money going around, the teams start fighting with each other, start fighting for that very few amount of users which are left. But I don't know. I just think that that's just such an opportunity for everyone to realize that um, the best projects will get users once crypto as itself as a whole is lifted up.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be fine. It's as I mentioned before, it's really the centralized exchanges who where we'll be taking users from, or maybe they'll be integrating us, and like might go the other way where they keep the users, but they'll start using decentralized means, and that's a great outcome for everyone. So I think once the sentiment changes for crypto as a whole, and I think the technology is ready now, we'll be able to. Everyone will win. We're all going to make it kind of situation again.
It's an exciting thing. It took a while, and I think, yeah, again, as a human species, it's a
Mm.
natural occurrence to fight over something, then build together, then fight over something, then build together. These issues have to happen just to make it that reactiveness realize that, oh, this is something that we are needing as a society, especially in our globalization.
Mm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, no, so for Squid, it's a lot going on. Can you give us a little bit more of, what's next for Squid, what's happening, and
Mm.
what the users need to look out for?
Yeah. Well, I don't know when this is coming out, but I can talk semi
Good.
openly. At least drop some alpha if it's coming out soon. Um, so Squid was built on Squid v1. There was a specific architecture of our backend that it allows you to do this one use case very well, and that is swap between any token on any chain. You can call a message on any chain, but it forces you to bridge via Axel USDC. And what we started finding is that there are other really interesting ways of building liquidity across chains. You can do things like what Osmosis does, and they have many different USDCs in one pool. And so we can just bridge to USDC, do a bunch of swaps, and then bridge out of Osmosis um, to the final destination chain. Um, and in the same way that, so it's quite an abstract concept, but in the same way that, say, 1inch is doing this for single chains where, different dexes are competing for liquidity. Uniswap might be competing with PancakeSwap for the best route across ETH USDC. What we can do is actually not just Uniswap versus PancakeSwap, but we can have Osmosis versus, say, like Sui versus Base, and all of the dexes on each of them are all competing with each other. So we create this like meta layer of competition, which should result in better prices for everyone. So the best swap will be, that's part of what we built with Squid v2. So Squid v2 is a Squid 2.0, we're actually calling it, is a new architecture which is extremely powerful. It lets you combine liquidity from all different chain sources in one swap, and compare them so that you get the best price across all of them. Um, so you're going to be getting better prices. The architecture of Squid 2.0 uh, I won't go into it, but essentially it's really efficient. You get to get a quote back from the system really quickly. It's about less than a second to get a quote, often faster. So the user experience is super snappy. One of the things with Squid that we've always cared about the most is speed. And when you're doing something in crypto, like prices are changing quickly, you're a young or just you're a dopamine freak on the internet and you need to get your thing fast. So
Degen, as we say it.
yeah, you're a degen, yeah. So the response time is really fast. You get a quote really quickly. We're also upgrading the front end, which I can't wait to show you guys. And the front end is gorgeous. It's really beautiful, and really fast as well. We spent a lot of time optimizing the front end, so it's super snappy too. And this is again across all the different chains. You connect your wallet, and then you get your balance back across 70 chains, whatever, in only a few seconds. And so the user experience that we're tending to is like you log in and you quickly see all the tokens you have everywhere, and you can quickly make a decision. Do I want to sell USDC on Base, Optimism, or Arbitrum for this meme coin that I'm trying to buy somewhere else? And we will eventually get to the point where you don't even think about the chain. Like we make the decision for you. The best price is actually selling USDC on Optimism rather than selling USDC on Arbitrum. Just for whatever reason, market makers care about getting USDC on Optimism more than they do on Arbitrum. So just as an example. So speed is a huge thing, better prices, and scalability. So like as Axelar launched the amplifier, the about to launch it on mainnet. Um, we're going to see a bunch of new chains come in, and Squid needs to be ready to scale with Axelar. So we rebuilt our architecture so that now we can get to 1,000 chains, and it will still be half a second, and everything will still run as expected. We shouldn't need to upgrade for a long time. Um, so yeah, you can expect those things. We're also adding thousands of tokens. We've noticed that, especially with the meme coin mania that's coming or that has happened, we have a ton of tokens that Squid technically supports but doesn't yet. So we're going to add about 2,500 tokens in the next few months. So you really can get anything anywhere.
It's
And then
nuts.
yeah, that's I might stop there.
I love hearing all this because it's so relieving and comforting to hear someone solving the problems, because now it's going through different wallets to see, okay, what do I have in Optimism? Did I get an airdrop in Arbitrum? Is there something in Polygon? I don't, where did this come from? Like, we're after just playing in crypto, even if you just play with like tens of dollars, nothing crazy,
Mm,
you just have dust everywhere, different
yeah.
cryptocurrencies lying around, especially during transactions and paying for gas and this chain versus
Mhm.
that chain. You just don't know what's happening in your own wallet anymore. And it's really nice that you're building something that can just outline it all. And
Mm,
if there's some chain that I forgot I had $1 in, I can just move it
yeah.
cheaply without having to pay exorbitant gas fees.
Yeah, we might even make a specific interface for this, like a dust sweeper. So you log
Ooh,
in and like all your balances below $5, you just sweep into ETH on Arbitrum. That would be really fun, I think.
it's like the piggy bank feature. If you use that term, I coined it here, just letting you
Piggy
know.
bank, nice. Give you credit.
Man, that's super exciting, and I'm sure everyone here that's listening wants to, get involved with Squid, learn more about it. So, how can the community get involved? Where can they go?
Yeah, well, we'll be doing. We just finished Squid summer camp, which was so fun. I spent a lot of time on Discord with the crew. Lots of new squids or um, sharing memes, sharing the food that we ate, like touching grass on the weekend. It was really fun, and we've we've actually we've engaged like a lot of them to be closer in the Squid community. So we'll be working with them to do various community things in the future. I think new members, best thing is to come to our Discord, follow us on Twitter, and we'll have more community things like Squid Summer Camp coming up. We often do like fun activations, like using Squid to buy something across chains, or having a game that we've developed that is specific to Squid. Um, so engage with those, and then if you have a good vibe, then if you're showing good vibes in the community, then we'll snatch you up and make you part of something bigger. So yeah, please come out and hang out.
That's the key, everyone. Just I've been always preaching that too. Is just get into a community that you really like, you want to be
Mm,
involved in. Just communicate, be an active member, and the founders will find you. They will see you. This
yeah,
is a place where you need to show some interest in, because you have that's the only way to show like only way to get recognized. And it
yeah,
sounds difficult, but if you find a project that you love, hopefully Squid, it's actually really easy and fun, and before you know it,
mm,
you'll be doing something really big.
yeah. It really is. Like we just care about vibes. Like it's great if you're smart and you're like asking good questions about the product. That's amazing. But really, we just want to hang out with nice people. So if you're nice, like just show it, and um, yeah, we'll notice you for sure.
Vibes don't lie.
Yeah,
Thank
totally.
you. Thank you so much, Vic, for joining me today. I'm ecstatic for your future and ecstatic to keep watching Squid grow. I know I'm going to be using it, and I'm looking forward for V2. So I'm
Thanks
gonna
so much,
subscribe
Reedy.
to that. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
No worries. Thanks for the chat.